In this video, I want to share with you how I went from growing up in a family where money was a very scarce resource to making my first $1 million online by the time I was 26. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Ross Johnson, and I'm the founder of smartcoach.com with my wife, Jessica. And I make these videos just to share with you and other people some of the valuable life lessons I've learned in my business, in my life, and in my relationships. So hopefully your journey to success is a lot shorter than mine was and hopefully a lot less painful. So in this video, the focus is sharing with you how I went from growing up in a family that didn't have a lot of money to making my first $1 million online by the time I was 26, pretty much by myself. And the way I want to talk about it is just start from the beginning and walk you through my life and some of the lessons that I've learned and some of those lessons that were the core lessons that led to me making that money, so that hopefully if you're trying to make money like that in your life, you can watch this and skip some of the learning curves that I had to go through, because it took me a long time and a lot of work to actually be able to make that happen. This isn't one of those videos where I'm going to tell you how to get rich quick. I didn't get rich quick. Even though I got rich young, it was difficult and there was a lot of trial and error and a lot of mistakes that I made. And I want to share some of those with you and hopefully benefit you so you don't have to deal with that. So when I was a kid, money was a very scarce resource. My parents were working 80 hours a week. They weren't home a lot when I was a kid, when I was going to school, when I was a teenager. And that made me think about money a lot. Money was very on my mind when I was a kid. I got my first job when I was 12. I was working when I was 12, 13. I was selling lollipops at school. I was selling Italian ice. I was selling candles at my dad's shop. I was mowing lawns. I was doing all the different stuff. I was very entrepreneurial. My dad was an entrepreneur. Even though they struggled, he was an entrepreneur, and I learned a lot of that entrepreneurial behavior from them. So when problems arose, I thought, what can I do about this? I took massive responsibility. And that was good and bad, because when I was in school, I didn't do very good. I didn't go to school a lot. I went to school. I didn't do my homework. I didn't listen to authority figures. I didn't really understand why I had to learn history and math and all these different things, because they weren't going to make me money. And money was the big problem in my life when I was a kid. And I just didn't understand the value of school at that time, because it wasn't going to solve the big problem that I had. So when I got out of school, I didn't go to college. And the reason why I didn't go to college was because I graduated with a 1.5 GPA and I didn't have any money. And I wasn't going to go into debt because I didn't know what I wanted to do either. Probably because I didn't experience a lot of life when I was a teenager. I didn't do too much stuff. I kind of just went to school and worked. And so when I was done with school, everybody in my town went to college, and I was left with no friends in a town all by myself, just kind of hanging out. And so I got a job delivering pizzas. And I thought, I'm going to start working out, because I didn't really know what else to do with my time. Started working out. I wanted to get a good looking body. I wanted to be really attractive. I wanted to start going to bars and picking up ladies and different things like that. I don't know why I thought I needed to be working out for that, but I did. And as I was training in the gym, I couldn't get the result that I wanted. I just couldn't get it. I was training 2.5 hours a day, every day. I was waking up. I was real consistent, real disciplined, but I just couldn't get the result that I was looking for. And so what happened was I picked up a book on nutrition, because I thought maybe it's my diet. Maybe it's my diet, the reason why I'm not getting these results, because I wasn't really doing anything with my diet. I was kind of eating whatever I wanted. I was drinking beer. I was just kind of staying out late at night, going to clubs, going to bars, different things like that. And then what ended up happening was I read a couple books and I implemented the material in those books, and immediately I got the result. Like, I'd already been doing all the fitness work. I was like 90% of the way there. But then once I implemented the diet, I got in great shape. And so that was a great lesson for me, that books are not evil like I thought when I was in school, and that learning from other people is very valuable. Other people have learned all of the lessons that you want to learn in life, and they wrote books about them, and they create courses and programs on them. And getting those programs and spending money on those books and spending the time to read them is going to shortcut your success so much. And that was when I first realized that, because I didn't read a book until I was like 19 years old. I hated books because of school. And so I started changing my perception around learning and knowledge and everything like that. And I started getting good results in the gym. But my results in the gym started going far beyond just my appearance. I started feeling really good in the gym because I had changed my diet, and I wanted to share that feeling with other people. I got so passionate about health and fitness that I decided to become a personal trainer. But I didn't just get certified as a personal trainer. I spent all my money on a 6-month school where I had to train for 500 hours to become a personal trainer, and then I got certified. And so what my life was like at that time was waking up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, driving 2.5 hours to school, then doing 6 hours of class, driving 2.5 hours home, and then delivering pizzas until like 10 o'clock at night. I did that every single day, like 5 or 6 days a week. I think I had 1 day off. And it was really valuable for me. Like, I learned everything that I needed to learn in my skill set to actually help people. And then I got a job at a gym. But when I got the job at the gym, they told me they were going to pay me $10 an hour. And at the time I was like, that's cool, because once I start getting some clients at this gym, I'll be able to make more. You make more when you sell personal training packages. And this is where I kind of got fucked in the whole process, because once I got into the gym, they were like, this is what your job is. Go around to the different people in the gym, tell them to take their earbuds out of their ear, and offer them a free personal training session. Do the personal training session with them. Collect information on them. Ask them if their wife supports their decision to be in the gym. Ask them about their kids. Ask them about their health. And then at the end, pitch them on buying a personal training session, right? A package, an ongoing subscription. And that kind of freaked me out because I didn't really know that that's how it worked. And they didn't teach me sales or marketing or how to do this in my personal training school. And they weren't really willing to teach me at the gym either. They were just kind of like, it's up to you. Just go out there and do it. And for like months, I just struggled to go out there and talk to different people. I didn't have the like social skills to do it. I didn't have the communication skills. I didn't really know how to do the pitch. I tried to get people, but they wouldn't listen to me. And it just felt really awkward and it felt terrible. And I realized at that moment that sales and marketing was almost more important than my personal training degree that I got, because if I can't get clients, then I can't help the clients with the skill set that I acquired. So I was like this brilliant nobody. I had all the skills, all the passion, everything to actually help people, but I couldn't help people. I couldn't help them even if I wanted to. Like, a lot of people, I would offer them free training sessions and they didn't even want it. And to be honest with you, I felt like it made me look like a bad personal trainer, going around offering all these free sessions. Like, my time was just worth nothing. And so what ended up happening was, even though I was so passionate about health and fitness and personal training, I ended up quitting that job. I ended up stopping that. And the reason why was because I realized that if I don't learn sales and marketing, I will never be a millionaire. And ever since I was a kid, I'd watch these movies. I'd watch my parents struggling to make money, and I'd be working a job, and I always wanted the freedom. I always wanted the options. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I always wanted to be a millionaire. Just like you watching this right now, it's probably how you feel. You probably want to make $1 million, right? And so I always wanted that. And I started doing the math, and I was like, I'm never going to be able to do this with this personal training thing, and I'm never going to be able to do it unless I learn marketing and sales, and unless maybe I have an online business. I thought about doing personal training online. And so for the next like 2.5, 3 years, all I did was study marketing and sales. And I had some different jobs that I did. I was like a consultant for a virtual assistant company, and I was kind of working in there with some different entrepreneurs, and I learned valuable things. But mostly what I did was experiment. I would start a blog. I would start a YouTube channel. I would try to create an online course. And I had tons of failed businesses, maybe 10, 20 different failed ideas. I just couldn't figure out why they weren't making money. I couldn't really figure out the sales and marketing thing until I realized one day that I was going about it the complete wrong way. I was like a solution in search of a problem, not finding a problem and then creating the solution. So I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. Once I was done personal training, I was still really into health. I got into Chinese herbalism and elixirs and different drinks and concoctions you can make with herbs and stuff like that. And I thought, I'm going to take my new skills in marketing that I'm learning. I wasn't awesome at it yet. And I'm going to make an online course on how to make these tonic drinks. And I'm going to put it on udemy.com. Super embarrassing. It's actually still on there. If you want to look it up and embarrass me, it's called Elixir Craft. Please do not buy it. I actually don't know what my login is. I don't know how to get it off the website. It's on there if you want to see a really embarrassing video of me. go ahead and look it up. But that was like my first online course. And I did sell like $200 worth of it, but $200 doesn't pay my bills. And that's like $200 to this date. So I don't even know. I didn't really sell much of it. But at the time, I was like, people need this. They need to learn about this. I created a handstand course. I was like, handstands are so good for you. People need this. They need this. I'm so passionate about this. People need all these things that I'm passionate about. And that's what I see so many coaches and service providers and people doing when they start their online business. They get passionate about something and they feel like because they're passionate about it, that other people need it and that other people are wrong and that they're right and that they need to convince other people of doing these things, drinking these smoothies, doing these workouts because it's going to help them. And then nobody buys it and no one's interested. And the reason why is because people don't actually want it. And so for 2 to 3 years, I struggled on this online marketing and sales thing, building these different products and businesses that nobody wanted and that only I was passionate about. See, I was a solution in search of a problem, right? I was like, this solution is something that you need because you have this problem. No one had the problem. So what ended up happening was I changed my thinking and I said, instead of me just coming up with these ideas, right? Because everyone thinks they need to have a business idea. When I ask people like, why don't you have a business? They say, oh, I don't have a great idea for a business. You don't need a business idea. You don't need an idea for a business. That's not how you start a business. What you do to start a business that's the right way to do it, and this is the way that actually worked for me, was going out to a group of people who have similar interests. So for me, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So on Facebook, naturally, I became friends with entrepreneurs. And when I became friends with them on Facebook, I would message them and I would get into conversations with them and I would talk to them about their problems. All the entrepreneurs, what problems do entrepreneurs have? What problems do entrepreneurs have? I started asking them that. Hey, what problems do you have? What problems do you have in your business? What things are you buying right now? And I noticed that all of them started telling me that Instagram marketing was a problem for them. They wanted to grow their Instagram account. They wanted to get clients from Instagram. This was like 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago, when Instagram was kind of a new platform and everyone was like super excited about it. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. You want to grow on Instagram? Like, I don't even know how that works. I didn't even have an Instagram account. So what I said was, if I was able to do that for you, would you pay me money for that? Like, would you actually pay me to help you with that? And pretty much everybody was like, yes, if you could fix this problem for me, I would pay you money for it. I almost fell out of my chair. I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my God, this is like it. People will pay me money for this. Finally, I'm going to actually make money. I'm going to actually be successful. All I have to do is learn how to do Instagram. And so what I did was, that was what I did. For like 3 months, all I did was I started different Instagram accounts and I just like pulled pictures of like Instagram and like Google and stuff, and I would post them and I would engage with different people and I would test these different strategies. I read books on Instagram. I watched YouTube videos on Instagram. I found Instagram experts and I interviewed them. I asked them how they did it. They told me. It was actually really interesting. So many people were so open about their strategy. I joined different Instagram, Facebook groups. I absorbed all of the information about Instagram. And in 3 months, it was almost like I became an expert at Instagram. I actually had grown an account. It was kind of like a dummy account. It was like a luxury account. I just took pictures of like luxury photos online. I actually grew that account to 100,000 followers in like just a few months. I couldn't even believe it. And so I went back to all these entrepreneurs and I said, look, I can help you do this. I actually developed this skill set now. Here's some proof of my own results. I would love to get you results. And at first, people were pretty apprehensive. It took me 3 to 4 months to get my first client. But within the next 16 months after that, I had made my first $1 million. I had made my first $1 million within 16 months after that. No advertising, no paid advertising. I did it through Facebook. And I did have a partner at the time. And we had probably a combined audience size on Facebook of like 2,500 friends. And that was where all of that money came from, because I was solving a real problem that people actually had. And this was like my big lesson. And it's a lesson that I want to share with you inside of this video is you can't just get passionate about something and turn it into a business. Your passion doesn't always align with what the market wants and what people want, right? So if you love like ballet dancing, it doesn't mean that you can sell a coaching program on ballet dancing. You might be able to, But it doesn't mean that just because you're passionate about it, it doesn't mean that other people need it. Even if it could benefit them, they might not think that they need it. And that was like my huge aha moment. So what you want to do, or what I did when I was starting my business, my first one that ever became successful, was I went out and I found a group of people that I was passionate about serving, entrepreneurs. I loved entrepreneurs. I wanted to be around entrepreneurs. I wanted to help entrepreneurs. And I asked them what I could help them with, what problems they actually had. And they just told me. People will tell you what their problems are if you actually listen, if you actually go out of your way to ask enough of them, and you'll start to notice a pattern. The pattern for me was Instagram. They wanted help with their Instagram. So even though I didn't have the skills, which so many people, this is where so many people get stuck, is they're like, Ross, I would love to help people with X, Y, and Z, but I just don't have that skill set. You know how easy it is to acquire a skill set today? YouTube is right here. I'm right here. I'm teaching you this stuff. It's all out there for free. You can develop any skill set you want just by watching videos online, finding different people, maybe paying them a couple $100 to hop on a call with them and show you their process for how they're doing things. There's Facebook groups. There's so much resources out there today for you to develop any skill set that you want. And then once you find that problem, you just develop the skill set to solve that problem very quickly. And you start offering that as a service. So that was kind of how I did it. That was how I got into actually really helping people and actually doing something that people valued. And I started to realize that that really was the thing. It was that I wasn't doing something that other people valued. And what people value, it does change, but people generally value making more money, finding the love of their life, being in relationships, and improving their health. Those are the three big things that people value and the things that people are pretty much always spending their time doing. And so if you're kind of outside of one of those three boxes, you're not really in an evergreen niche. You're not really in an evergreen opportunity where people are always going to need help. People are always going to need help making money. They're always going to need help getting dates and finding the love of their life. They're always going to need help with their health and not being sick and being healthy and all this different stuff. So those are like some of the big opportunities to actually be in with your business that can make you $1 million. And so what I did after that was I grew an agency. I put together a team. I really scaled this thing up. And because I focused so heavily on getting my clients results, they just told their friends about it. It was as simple as that. I got them such good results. They told their friends about it. And I talked to more people and I started networking and building relationships with people. And before I knew it, I had already made $1 million and I couldn't believe it. All the work I had done the years prior was way harder than me actually making that money, which was so surprising to me because I always thought that making $1 million would be super hard, but it's actually not super hard. It's that you have to be in the right opportunity at the right time. You have to do something that people actually want to pay you money for, right? So if you're trying to convince someone of, your offer and whatever it is that you're selling, then you're already kind of losing, right? Because if me and you were walking down the street and I pulled something out of my pocket and I showed you this really cool gadget and you were like, whoa, that's so cool. Like, I want to buy one of those. Where do I get it? Like, that's what people are doing. That's what people are buying. And that's what makes people money. So if you have to convince someone of whatever it is you're selling and it's so hard to get them to buy it and they just don't understand the value of it, that is something to pay attention to. It's something to reconsider what you're selling. You want to pull something out of your pocket and show it to someone or explain what you do, have them be like, holy shit, like I want that. How do I get that? Can I get that? And so that's what I had at the time. And that was really the thing that I think even today, after I've grown 3 7-figure businesses personally, my wife has grown her own 7-figure business. And in all those businesses, those things were all present. You need to solve a problem. It needs to be in demand. You need to have the skills to solve it. And you need to solve it for a very specific person. And so that's it for this video, pretty much. I just wanted to share that with you. And hopefully you can see some of the reasons why your business might not actually be growing as fast as you want it to be. I know that for me, that was pretty much the biggest thing, was that I just wasn't solving a problem. So if you want more videos like this, you want to learn more about business, you want more life lessons, more stories about things that I've done and lessons that I've learned, go ahead and consider subscribing to the channel and drop a like or drop a comment. I'm always here and I'm open for any video suggestions as well. See you soon.